Hi, how are all of you doing? Obviously, I can't hear you guys right now, so I am going to assume that all of you are on track with your mission, on your path, on your journey, and that you know that you are loved and that you're seen and that you're heard. Now that I've started to record my vlogs sort of regularly, I don't really have a definitive plan, but I'm going to milk the machine as long as it's working. Anyway, so a couple of days back, I was really feeling blessed and grateful about the kind of relationships that I have, or rather, I mean, it works both ways. I was grateful for the kind of relationships I currently have in my life, and also the way that I navigate relationships. So I was thinking on those lines of, you know, how the journey I've made to come here, to be able to feel confident and balanced and empowered in the way that I navigate my relationships. I'm feeling blessed about the same. And I realized, going down that rabbit hole, I realized that I now feel like, because I was wondering, what kind of people do I feel safe with? Because one of the priorities, uh, one of my priorities now is as an artist, as a freelance artist. I was wondering the kind of people that I would want to work with, and it's become of utmost clarity for me right now that I'm open to working with all sorts of people. My most important thing is that, do I feel safe with them? Um, do I feel safe in their energy? That is my topmost priority. I do not care where they come from, what accolades they have, merit they have collected in the outside world. For me, I have realized as an artist, I need to have fun. It's a very big, my inner compass keeps reminding me, my team, my spiritual team keeps reminding me that, have fun, have fun, have fun. So as I went digging that path, that when do I actually have fun? When can I have fun? So I realized that for me to have fun with somebody, for me to feel light and playful, obviously I can work my way into doing it with somebody, but it's a lot more effortless when I'm naturally feeling at ease with somebody, when I'm feeling emotionally safe with somebody. So then I realized, oh, then, and since art is part of my purpose in this lifetime, I'm going to be doing it till I'm in this body, for sure. In some or the other way, the labels might change, but I'm going to be a creative for the rest of my life, deliberately. I am a creative. And so since sustainability is definitely an aspect for me, I realized that I want to be working with people in whose presence, is whose energy I feel safe in. And that took me to the idea of, whom do I feel emotionally safe with? It is a bittersweet thing for me to say this, but it is what it is, and I'm going to say it. There are a lot of people that I've grown up with, known for years, whom actually I currently don't feel emotionally safe with and do co-create with, and therefore I am more mindful of having boundaries with them. And no hard feelings, it's just we're different people, and I respect that. And it's not just about different people, our priorities in life are different, our belief systems in life are different. So even though we've known each other for years, decades at sometimes, but doesn't really mean that I feel safe with them. And on the contrary, on the other side of the spectrum, I have met people whom I have just met, just met for some reason at a social gathering or somewhere, and I feel safe with them. And so when I feel safe with them and they happen to be creatives, I go forth and I go and ask them, I go and initiate and take the initiative and say, do you want to work together? And in fact, my most recent themed photo shoot that I did with a friend, I also happened to meet at a social gathering, and I told her, this is my thing, this is what I do, and do you want to work with me? And then, since she was a video editor, we both had exchanges and meetings, and we came up with something very beautiful. I'm going to take a minute to just Sonali, you know what I feel for you, and I've said it many times, and I will say it again. You are an amazing person. Anyway, um, if you're watching this, that's great. Anyway, coming back to the point, um, yeah. So I've ended up meeting a lot of people that I feel safe with, and when I feel safe with them, I can allow myself and them both. When I feel safe with somebody, I can take it easy. When I can take it easy, I can extend that ease to the other person much more effortlessly. You know, I have had the practice of holding space for people because I had my own counseling practice for more than 7 years, and so yeah, holding space for somebody is kind of like a given. I'm good with it. I'm a pro at it. But at the same time, now that I'm using those resources and those abilities and channeling it and now funneling it into being an artist, and not just being an artist, just creating a life for myself that feels satisfying to me, that feels wholesome to me. Because I realized one thing, and obviously you've heard me. If you have heard my other vlogs and watched my other content, you know that I am somebody who values authenticity and genuineness, sincerity more than anything else. Because I realized, and again, this is a realization I had during my counseling sessions, I realized that going by the books is okay, but for me, the way that I wanted to practice, I wanted to being authentic with my clients created some sort of magic which allowed them to feel more comfortable in their own skin, because I was more comfortable in my own skin. And so in the process, there are a lot of things which I had learned as while becoming a psychologist, while training, that I just put it aside. And I was like, dude, being a human is more important than being a psychologist. To me, it was. And so I had created my own sort of way of executing, prioritizing certain things even during my counseling practice. And I will continue it forever. That's very core to me. Being authentic, being sincere is something that is very core to me. It almost turns me on. Yeah, sincerity is very important, being authentic is very important, and feeling safe with somebody that I co-create with, that I collaborate with, is very, very, very important to me. That brings me to the idea of, I became more mindful about the people I do feel comfortable with, people I feel safe with, literally, and people I don't feel safe with. And this has very little to do with gender, educational background, age. All of that is like secondary. Even language for that matter. I mostly feel comfortable communicating in English and Bengali, but mostly English. Even in my family, sometimes people ask me, "Oh, don't you create content in Hindi?" Of course, I do understand Hindi and I can speak in Hindi when it's necessary, but I'm most comfortable with English and Hinglish, if I can say, a combination. So, did I go down a tangent? Anyway, but it's all part of me, so I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying. And so while I was exploring more about the people that I feel safe with, I realized that I love to love people that love themselves. Yeah, I love to love people that love themselves. Ironically, the people who need the most love are the people who are most self-critical, but why I love to love people, and I do love the people who are critical with themselves, but the execution is very different. And I'll get into the details of that, but it sounds so much fun to say it, so I'm going to say it twice. I love to love people who love themselves. It's even like I think I can do my vocal exercises with it. I love to love people who love themselves. And obviously, when I say love themselves, everything is relative. Everybody's on a journey. A lot of people are on a self-love journey. Some people are deliberately on a self-love journey, and some people are mindlessly, or they lack the deliberate part. But I feel everybody's on a self-love journey. Either you're aware or not aware. Yeah, that's how I'll put it. Because I have been somebody in the past, while growing up, especially, I was somebody who was very critical of herself. And I'll just give an example to give you sort of an idea of what it looked like for me. So in my school play while growing up, I was the lead. And when I was on the stage, I was absolutely, I was confident. I was just, when I'm on stage, I'm just like a different person. So we will not talk about that here right now. But when I watched, then they recorded the entire performance. It was a musical. It was a dance drama. So when the CD came out, yes, I belong to the CD generation. Or when the CD came out, I started watching the play, and I remember I got so cringed. I got so disturbed, irritated, disgusted with myself that I literally broke the CD. I still haven't seen the play. There are pictures that I've seen, but I haven't seen the play. And so that is how critical I was of myself, and that's one side of the spectrum. Cut to today. I listen to my own vlogs. I love the content that I put on Instagram. I am very deliberate about the fact that I share ideas, words that are core to me, that are my truth. I always say that as an artist, my vision is to embrace duality and to celebrate authenticity. That is never going to change for me. Balance, never going to change for me. So I do talk about ideas that are very core to me, that are very special to me. And my Instagram even is, a lot of times when professionals or casting directors, they're asking me for, send us some content of yours. So I do share my Instagram profile, because my Instagram profile is 99.9% accurate, because we'll just leave some room for error because we're humans, right? So it's 99.9% authentic. I share all types of content. I share the prepped ones. I share the very raw ones, unedited, unfiltered ones, because that is me. That is me. There are times when I can be very, very put together. There are times when I'm a mess, and both are parts of me, and I love both of them. So these are two examples of, now I listen to my content, and I listen to my vlogs sometimes, and I'm like, those words are so healing. This is so satisfying to hear. Even though I know I'm the one who's saying it, but I believe now that I have aligned myself enough to myself and the universe that I co-create with spirit, not just content. I co-create my life with spirit. That's just how I move through life. And so everything that flows through me is also naturally a co-creation with spirit. And I believe that as an artist, I am a vessel that flows ideas and flows truth and flows messages, and so I love it. I love my own content, really. I can vouch for it. So this is sort of the journey that I've made from being somebody who was very critical of herself at one point of time to somebody who is kind of very proud of herself. I'm really happy, and I have nurtured myself and put myself together piece by piece with a lot of love. I have I'm not going to go too much into detail of that. There is an episode about my toxicity, there is an episode about boundaries, and there'll probably be more episodes where I talk about my journey in different aspects of my journey. You can go through them if you feel called to, especially the one about toxicity, because I talk about a lot of meeting my own darkness in that. Even I think the one in which I'm talking about boundaries, very, very important. So I feel qualified enough to talk with enough context about why I love to love people who love themselves, because energetically speaking, it is a far more satisfying experience to love somebody who loves themselves, simply because A, they feel they deserve it. B, they are open to the idea that they don't live off of somebody else's love. Like, if for some reason I cannot show up for somebody who already loves themselves, they know that I love them, and I'm pretty articulate. I'm not clueless. I don't believe in saying something and doing something else. I'm pretty like, if you have my attention, you have my attention. It's very obvious. I'm not going to say I don't, mind games is just, yeah, it's just too much work. It's very unnecessary, according to me, and it just brings down my energy a lot. So I don't believe in mind games. When I'm telling you I love you, I fucking love you. Okay, and I love a lot of people, and it's a very live and let live kind of an experience for me. So if I'm, for some reason, I cannot show up for somebody who already loves themselves, they're not dying. Their oxygen plug isn't pulled out. They still have their own back. And I will say this, I will speak for myself, that after I have built this relationship with myself, after I have deliberately been on a self-love journey for quite a while now, over the years, it's become easier and easier to work with rejection, to not take rejection personally, to understand that, you know, it's divine timing, it's not the right time. So, certain ideas and certain beliefs that I have clarified for myself, that I go back to recenter and focus myself. So I don't personalize that shit. If there is somebody that I have proposed that I would work with them, or let's meet up or something, it's very simple. Like, I want to meet up. Do you want to meet up? And simply, they, for some reason, they can't show up. Then I'm like, okay, at a different time. So that doesn't mean. And if I still want to go out, I still go out by myself. I don't. I'm not like, oh, you said you'll come to a room for a movie with me, but you didn't come, so I didn't go, and I'm holding a grudge. All of that bullshit is out the door. When I was, I would say, years back, before the great crisis. I don't have an episode talking about the great crisis. Actually, it's unnecessary. I don't even need to talk about it. Yeah, I don't feel called to talking about it right now. So, but before the great crisis, when I was a very different version of myself, I when somebody used to reject me, it was all very personal. Firstly, I was open to, I had like a core team, family, blood relations, like core family, core friends in the world. It was very hierarchical in nature, and so, but I was also extremely vulnerable with those handful of people, and something used to happen. Whatever happened, I used to take it personally. I was like, I must have done something, I can do something to improve it. Bending over backwards way too much, holding my breath way too much. And whereas all I needed to do is to step back, look at myself, give myself the love and attention and nurturance that I need, tend to my own wounds, and then kind of let them do them. I still remember that just after I had stepped out of like the great crisis, there's a poem that I had written, and it was about love and freedom, and it was about the way that I want to love somebody and the way that I want to be loved. And I don't remember the entire poem. I've probably deleted it, and but I realized that I want to love somebody where I can allow them to be themselves as much as possible. That is the way that I choose to love somebody. You do you. I don't want you to change according to me. I don't want you to reshape yourself and sculpt and mold something according to me. Have your own opinion, have your own life. Be satisfied with your choices. And yeah, I can say that I can do that now. I can do that, and I'm so proud of myself for it. And there are a lot of changes that I've had to make within myself in order to be able to love somebody else like that, love anyone like that, because that would imply that my needs are met. I meet my own needs before I meet somebody else's needs, and after I feel balanced, I've taken care of my needs. Anything I get from the outside is extra, is surplus. So when I'm loving somebody who already loves themselves or has like a good foundation of it, I can feel more safe to assert my boundaries, to tell them that, you know what, I know that you want to meet up and I really want to meet you, but I'm having a headache today, or I have a lot of work and I'm feeling tired and today I don't want to go out. And so this exchange, because we're not robots, right? We're not at the same space all the time. No matter how much somebody loves you, they are also human. They have their own ups and downs. They have their own cycles and phases in life. And to expect somebody's cycle to move exactly as yours, I now can see is completely irrational. So then if I'm loving somebody, or I am connecting with somebody who has that foundation of safety within themselves, who are self-aware about their needs and their priorities, and then it's a simpler exchange, because they can assert their boundaries, I can assert, we can respect each other's boundaries, and we can work with them. This has been a game changer for me in the way that I navigate relationships. It's been absolutely a game changer, having boundaries, being aware of my needs, and taking care of my needs before I take care of somebody else's needs. So and I've put in quite a bit of work in it, and but it's all worth it. It's all worth it, but it's still work, um, and when I love somebody who is, well, harder on themselves, on a spectrum, um, everything is personal. When I compliment them, it's such a fight to give somebody a compliment, and I know this because I was somebody at the sight or at the sound of a compliment. The moment I could feel that, oh, somebody is giving me a compliment, I was already curling in, caving in into my own body, trying to be like, oh, somebody is giving a compliment. No, what am I going to do about this? And so yeah, I've had those days, and these moments of realizations or experiences that happened, and somewhere along the line, like, why why would I not take a compliment? What they are saying, beauty actually does lie in the eyes of the beholder. I have realized this, and yes, I'm beautiful because I feel beautiful. It has very little to do with the shape of my nose, the shape of my eyes, and yes, I'm very well aware that I am conventionally speaking beautiful, but there are things where there are places and situations where I have found beauty which are not conventionally considered beautiful, and I have also been in spaces where I have given compliments to people who are very attractive, very very stereotypically, well, I can say by Indian standards beautiful, because every location has its own beauty standards, but still, uh, it's very obvious that they are objectively pretty. But I give them a compliment and they're like, no, but this and that and this and that. And so it's now after I've become quite energetically aware, I would say, I pick up on a lot of things way beyond words. And it is a gift and it is a blessing, but it's also a responsibility. So I have realized that energetically it's very draining to give somebody who's hard on themselves a compliment, because there is this self-worth resistance. And so when a compliment comes their way, it needs to cut through all of this resistance to then kind of, the arrow to go and hit the self-worth bubble, and to kind of let it uplift. And I'm somebody who, I've always been called to uplift people, so I will always do that, let's just say. But the way that I do it over the years has shifted a lot. I had a bit of, not a bit, it's a major issue of people pleasing. It's not a bit, I will not sugarcoat it. And because I was good at picking up at what was expected of me, and I was articulate always, so the lip service was top game. But it created a lot of shit for me within my mind, and I kept moving away and further and further and further away from my core, from who I am. And somewhere along the line, it broke down, thank God. And then multiple more breakdowns, thank God. Painful as fuck, but thank God. And after those breakdowns, as I pieced myself together and I kept what was still valuable, and then I allowed Spirit to guide me and nurture me and help me through the entire process of, just tell me what's simple, tell me what's true, and we will focus on that. And where was I? Piecing myself together, giving somebody a compliment who is, well, critical about themselves, who are hard on themselves. And so it's such a struggle nowadays because I've become the level of aware that I have become right now, um, very clued on with implications. Especially, it doesn't matter what words come out of people's mouth, there are so many times when the words are here but the intentions are here, the words are here but the application, the implication is here. So because I can also pick up on the implication much more now, I'm like, I just stop. When I sense somebody, that when I start to compliment somebody and I sense that they are not in a receiving space, they are in that self-critical space, I zip it. I withdraw. I love them from afar. I have my own processes, practices that I have developed over the years where I can love people from afar, and I'm happy that they're happy. I have I have learned to love people from a distance. And this goes for a lot of people that I don't resonate with, a lot of people who are not like an immediate part of my life, who once were very, very meaningful to me. I love them, but from afar, and I choose to love them from afar. I wish the best for them. I hope that they move along, have a full, successful life. But yeah, we don't need to be in talking terms with each other. I'm good. I have my prayers and my practices to do that. I choose to be with people who are more accepting and aware. And obviously, I understand nobody's perfect and everybody has a variety. I mean, variety and variety of negative emotions and a variety of positive emotions. And keeping in mind our own traumatic experiences, it is expressed in different ways. And yeah, about trauma, long story short, everybody has their own shit. Everybody. I don't believe there is one person, at least my definition of trauma, there is not one person that I have come across in my lifetime who has not had some traumatic experience. Everybody has traumatic experiences and they are very valuable. And I will not speak more about traumatic experiences, but they shape us and they influence us and they give us an opportunity to choose how we want to respond to them. And that is the journey of empowerment, I believe, for every human being. Whenever my dogs start to yap, I kind of wonder how long I've been talking. It's been 30 minutes. Okay, this one went longer than I thought. Should I stop now? I guess I'll stop now because I've gone into enough tangents and aspects to put together and share what I feel about loving people who love themselves. And yeah, we'll see. If I feel called to sharing more, I will make another episode or it'll come out in some other way. Yeah, see how I co-create with spirit. Like, God, I love my life. I love my life. At the moment, I'm a one-person army, but even when there are projects where I'm working with other people, other creatives, I've always had spirit, and I'm always going to have my spiritual team with me forever. And maybe I should do another episode of Spirit in Me. Should I? We'll see. At the moment, I'm not receiving any comments, or actually, rather, I do receive some comments, but I'll feel it if I need to talk more about other topics. But I kind of feel that I'm going to speak more about spirit in me. I think I can write a book about that. Anyway, I'm going to close this one now. See you guys in my next episode.